June 11, 1962. A cold wind swept across San Francisco Bay. Inside the world's most secure prison, 3 men prepared to attempt the impossible, to escape from Alcatraz. Alcatraz, also known as the Rock, was built to be escape-proof. A fortress on an island surrounded by icy waters, strong currents, and watchtowers armed with rifles. It held America's most dangerous criminals, men who had escaped from everywhere else. But on that night in 1962, 3 inmates proved that even the Rock had cracks. Frank Morris was a brilliant mind trapped in a criminal's life. Quick, calculating, and resourceful, he had already escaped from multiple prisons before landing at Alcatraz. With him were brothers John and Clarence Anglin, skilled bank robbers and strong swimmers who had grown up diving into the cold rivers of Florida. Together, they formed a plan that would shake the world. For months, the 3 men studied the routines of the guards. They listened to the timing of bed checks, memorized the sounds of footsteps, and watched every detail. In their cells, they noticed a weakness: the air vents. Armed with nothing but stolen spoons and a homemade drill fashioned from a vacuum cleaner motor, they began carving out the crumbling concrete. Each night, the sound of scraping was masked by music from the prison band or coughing fits. Bit by bit, they widened the vents, holes just large enough for a man to squeeze through. But escaping their cells wasn't enough. They had to fool the guards. So they crafted lifelike dummy heads. Using soap, toothpaste, cement dust, and real hair stolen from the barber shop, they created convincing replicas of their own faces. At night, they placed the heads on their pillows, pulling the blankets up to the chin. From a distance, the guards saw nothing unusual, just 3 men sleeping soundly. But where would they go once outside? The freezing waters of San Francisco Bay were known to kill in minutes. The answer came in the form of stolen raincoats, over 50 of them. Stitched together with prison glue, heat pipes, and sheer determination, they built a makeshift raft and life vests. It was risky, but it was their only hope. June 11, 1962, the plan was in motion. One by one, Morris and the Anglin brothers slipped out of their cells through the holes in the vents. Behind the walls, they climbed a utility corridor to the roof of the prison. The climb was dangerous, and one mistake and they would fall to their deaths. Finally, they reached the roof, carrying their homemade raft. Carefully, they descended down the pipes and fences until they reached the shoreline. There, under the cover of night, they inflated the raft, pushed it into the black waters, and paddled into the unknown. The next morning, Alcatraz guards made their rounds. When they reached the cells of Morris and the Anglin brothers, they saw what looked like sleeping men. But when an officer tapped Morris's head, it rolled off the bed and smashed on the floor. It wasn't a man, it was a dummy. The alarm was raised. "Escape from Alcatraz," echoed across the island. The FBI, Coast Guard, and police launched the largest manhunt in prison history. Boats scoured the bay, helicopters circled overhead. Divers searched the cold depths. All they found were pieces: a paddle, a waterproof bag, and fragments of raincoat material. No bodies, no raft, no men officially. The FBI declared that Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers drowned in the icy bay. They insisted no man could survive the freezing waters and brutal currents. But whispers began to spread. Over the years, reports of the Anglin brothers surfaced in South America. Family members received unsigned postcards. In 2015, a photograph emerged, allegedly showing the brothers alive in Brazil, decades after the escape. Even law enforcement admitted there was no proof of death, and the case remained open for years. Alcatraz closed as a prison the following year. The escape had exposed its vulnerabilities and shattered its reputation of being escape-proof. Today, tourists walk through the empty cells where the men dug their way out. The holes in the walls are still there. The dummy heads still sit on display, frozen in time. But the question remains: did Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers succeed in the greatest escape in history? Or did the Bay claim them forever? No one knows, and maybe that's the way they wanted it. This is the mystery of Alcatraz, the prison that was never supposed to be broken, and the escape that remains unsolved to this very day.